that Trevor had shrunk a little bit. Boy, what did he do at camp? I don't know. When we come back, applying ancient Chinese principles to Vancouver architecture. We'll have that story and more news right after this. It's called feng shui. It's an ancient Chinese practice to ensure happiness for the residents of a home. In recent years, feng shui masters have been hired to help plan private homes here in Vancouver. But as Deborah Gold reports tonight, a subsidized housing project is now using the ancient art.
When this housing project was proposed for the downtown east side, the developers decided to do something a little bit different. It's called feng shui. Even the developer has a hard time explaining the concept.
Some things have good influence, some things are auspicious, some things are inauspicious, and the inauspicious things have to be counteracted.
In English, translation means feng is wind, shui is water. The direction of the wind and the gravity of the flow of water towards the object. And that brings a lot of prosperity and luck, if you could get the direction well.
The process of directing energy and balance in an oriental garden is not surprising. But according to feng shui master Joseph Yip, when the same principles are applied to a building, the results can be equally rewarding. So the Downtown Eastside Residents Association hired him for this project.
We try to change the energy from bad to the good energy.
Do you feel it?
No, I'm using some kind of calculation, such as the horoscope, but this is a special way for the Chinese.
Some of the things Mr. Yip does may seem unusual to Western culture.
The Chinese, they will like to use the lucky number. Such
Sure, what?
as the number 8, well, it's a lucky number. Well, we are not, we are not prefer to use the number 4, because number 4 is something like the death. Going to die is number 4.
And it certainly doesn't stop there. Elevators, stairwells, and doorways have all been appropriately positioned. A tree will go on the roof to guide good energy into the residence. Likewise, a pool in the lobby will contain excessive energy generated by the nearby Georgia Viaduct. Dira, as the developer, is doing this out of respect to the many Chinese people who will be moving into this project. People like Molly Chan.
Okay. Oh, yes. She said, yes, that will be a really good idea, you know, let's say, to for Dira to be so thoughtful. You know, let's say for the Chinese, you know, let's say especially for the senior, they will feel more comfortable. And let's say they will have a better, you know, future or better, more prosperous.
For others, like Bill Morgan, who's never even heard of feng shui, but is also a tenant-to-be, well, he figures there's nothing wrong with hedging his bets.
I don't really believe in that stuff, but if it helps, why not?
And it already has. Many tenants will be leaving behind ugly, cockroach-infested rooming houses in the downtown east side. Trading that in for a new subsidized apartment, renting at $112 a month, has already gone a long way towards turning many of them into believers of feng shui. Deborah Goebel, CBC News, Vancouver.
And now to the latest chapter of a story we've been following for about 8 years now. The Supreme Court of Canada has said no to Inderjit Singh Rayat. Rayat wanted permission to appeal his manslaughter conviction. He's serving 10 years in prison for building a bomb that exploded in a Japanese airport. Too bad.
Along with hedging his bets.
I don't really believe in that stuff, but if it helps, why not?
And it already has. Many tenants will be leaving behind ugly, cockroach-infested rooming houses in the downtown east side. Trading that in for a new subsidized apartment, renting at $112 a month, has already gone a long way towards turning many of them into believers of feng shui. Deborah Goebel, CBC News, Vancouver.
And now to the latest chapter of a story we've been following for about 8 years now.
Ça vous donne une idée des changements.
Vancouver, c'est une ville porte-bonheur.
Le feng shui, c'est l'étude de l'énergie naturelle, du vent et de l'eau. Bien placé, Vancouver influence donc positivement la santé, le moral et les finances des Chinois qui viennent s'y installer, dit le grand maître Joseph Heap.
Voilà l'accès au Pacifique. L'énergie passe par ici. Stanley Park, c'est comme un bras qui retient toute l'énergie. Il y en a beaucoup. C'est pourquoi elle peut s'étendre et profiter à toute cette région.
Pour se loger, construire une maison, se lancer en affaires, le feng shui est déterminant. C'est un grand maître du feng shui qui a choisi la date et l'heure d'ouverture de la succursale de la Banque de Hong Kong qui est devenue rentable après 48 heures seulement. Mais si tout va bien pour l'instant pour les Sino-Canadiens de Vancouver, cela ne va pas durer éternellement, nous disent les spécialistes du feng shui.
Il va falloir changer de position. Là, vous faites face au sud. Peut-être qu'en 2003 ou 2004, il faudra passer au nord-est.
C'est qu'ils prédisent de grands changements pour l'an 2004, des changements qui risquent de bouleverser l'économie de toute la région, ce qui pourrait faire partir des milliers de Sino-Canadiens.
L'énergie change chaque année, petit à petit. Mais le grand changement aura lieu en 2004.
D'ici 2004, Vancouver va cependant continuer de développer une nouvelle culture, de s'attacher aux valeurs du marché du Pacifique. En fait, la ville va devenir chaque jour un peu moins Vancouver et un peu plus Vancouver.
An ancient technique practiced by experts, masters who determine the location of building sites, dwelling units, even where to place a grave. For some, it's combination art form and science. Others believe it's superstition. Good feng shui in the home is said to enhance happiness and prosperity. Bad feng shui can bring evil forces and ill fortune.
When I was young, my father spent about 5 years looking for a tomb for my grandfather. And those times I basically follow him up and down the mountain to find a perfect site. We found it, and so we placed him there. The unfortunate thing is 2 years later, they built a highway right in front of it. So that sort of destroyed it. And we dug him up and we moved him over here to Canada.
One thing that I'm fortunate is that my partner is, while not a master, is a very serious student of it. As architects, we deal with making places, and so we have to be sensitive to siting, taking into account views and sun and all sorts of things that people here are used to. And so feng shui has a lot of overlap in that respect, and sensitivity to the environment.
I first got involved with feng shui when I worked on the Chinese garden here. The overlap of Taoist philosophies, of Confucianism, of the I Ching, the yin and yang, which this garden is very much a representative of, and the balance that that creates, make what is the Feng Shui master's guide to his site planning.
This Feng Shui, it is so simple. If you know the calculation, it is a kind of calculation for the horoscope. Usually I'm use the compass to go to the building site to take a measurement, and using that calculation to find out the correct location, which is the right place for you to stay.
Have you noticed they all buy the new homes? It's because they believe that a person's fortune will remain in that house. So when they don't know the history of that home, to play safe, they would rather get a brand new home that nobody have ever lived in there. So they never inherited bad luck or, bad fortune.
I moved in this house in January the 1st, but a few days later, we have a break-in for my house. So I find visited it to see the Feng Shui in the future of my house.
I'm doing here is to correct every member's birthday to find out the correct number of the horoscope, and using that horoscope to take a calculation.
我哋而家喺呢個正門入嚟嗰度啦，因為出邊嗰度係大街啦。如果喺馬路係當水嘅話咧，你會發覺嗰條馬路咧喺呢邊衝過去，咁同埋呢條馬路咧，亦都喺呢度飆過去，變咗啲水咧會流咗嚟。Money will easy to run out on that direction. You better put the swimming pool over there to store all the wind, all the water, to store all the money. 即係將嗰啲水聚翻翻嚟呢個就唔好向。Many Chinese people they scare the main entrance is direct facing to the staircase. This has a little bit about 6 to 8 inches high to stop the water to run out, so you need not to worry. 呢個女主人講係咪？係。你留意啦。You see the mountain is over there. The shape is look something like peepings behind the mountain is trying to peeping you. That's why this door, it will be security locked all the time. Otherwise, it will be easy to break in from this direction.
Skeptical. I'm a skeptic.
Better to be safe and listen than to flaunt the Feng Shui master.
Oh, I think the ones that believe in it, I find it extremely important.
I think it's not a perfect science yet.
Feng Shui is actually nothing mysterious and nothing superstitious.
For myself, I move my bed around the house all the time because it depends on the month, which are the good months and bad months. And I find it actually things do come true.
The economic fortune of the city is all depends on where the mayor sits. This is not the best position for the mayor. For my opinion, he should sit over there. But if the location cannot be changed, I think he better turn this table to align, to parallel to this table. In this case, if he do this, it will bring continued good fortune to the city.
喺今日嘅動土禮上，副國防部長 Mary Collins 表示，聯邦政府好支持今次嘅計劃，係會負責起2/3嘅興建費用，而省政府就會負責其餘1/3嘅開支。有關方面亦都會保障將來居住喺呢一座新樓嘅住客，佢哋所要繳付嘅屋租係唔會超過佢哋入息嘅30%。房屋廳長羅比高就表示，BC 省一直都缺乏一啲好嘅廉價房屋。今次嘅計劃係由3級政府同埋居民代表攜手合作，可以話係一個突破。新大廈位於華埠 Union 街257號， 預計會喺明年嘅秋季落成。整座大樓一共有86個單位，主題為低入息嘅家庭同埋傷殘人士而設。大廈嘅中文名係順利樓，英文名就係為咗紀念一位喺世界博覽會期間因為被逼遷而凍死嘅街頭露宿者，因此改為 Solheim Place， 代表陽光普照嘅意思。主辦機構喺今日更加以中國人嘅習俗舉行咗一個道教嘅祭殺儀式，希望趕走惡魔，等大廈能夠順利建成。喺剪彩同埋動工儀式舉行之後，興建工程就正式開始。溫哥華市警方由本月8號
designed Chinese superstitions into a new apartment building.
The CBC Evening News with Kevin Evans.
Nash was in town to accept an award on his behalf.
I thought for a minute there that Trevor had shrunk a little bit. Boy, what did he do at camp? I don't know. When we come back, applying ancient Chinese principles to Vancouver architecture. We'll have that story and more news right after this. It's called feng shui. It's an ancient Chinese practice to ensure happiness for the residents of a home. In recent years, feng shui masters have been hired to help plan private homes here in Vancouver. But as Deborah Gold reports tonight, a subsidized housing project is now using the ancient art.
When this housing project was proposed for the downtown east side, the developers decided to do something a little bit different. It's called feng shui. Even the developer has a hard time explaining the concept.
Some things have good influence, some things are auspicious, some things are inauspicious, and the inauspicious things have to be counteracted.
In English, translation means feng is wind, shui is water. The direction of the wind and the gravity of the flow of water towards the object. And that brings a lot of prosperity and luck, if you could get the direction well.
The process of directing energy and balance in an oriental garden is not surprising. But according to feng shui master Joseph Yip, when the same principles are applied to a building, the results can be equally rewarding. So the Downtown Eastside Residents Association hired him for this project.
We try to change the energy from bad to the good energy.
Do you feel it?
No, I'm using some kind of calculation, such as the horoscope, but this is a special way for the Chinese.
Some of the things Mr. Yip does may seem unusual to Western culture.
The Chinese, they will like to use the lucky number.
Such as what?
The number 8, well, it's a lucky number. Well, we are not prefer to use the number 4, because number 4 is something like the death. Going to die is number 4.
And it certainly doesn't stop there. Elevators, stairwells, and doorways have all been appropriately positioned. A tree will go on the roof to guide good energy into the residence. Likewise, a pool in the lobby will contain excessive energy generated by the nearby Georgia Viaduct. Dira, as the developer, is doing this out of respect to the many Chinese people who will be moving into this project. People like Molly Chan.
Okay. Oh, yes. She said, yes, that will be a really good idea, let's say, to for Dira to be so thoughtful. Let's say for the Chinese, let's say especially for the senior, they will feel more comfortable, and let's say they will have a better, future or better, more prosperous.
For others, like Bill Morgan, who's never even heard of feng shui, but is also a tenant-to-be, well, he figures there's nothing wrong with hedging his bets.
I don't really believe in that stuff, but if it helps, why not?
And it already has. Many tenants will be leaving behind ugly, cockroach-infested rooming houses in the downtown east side. Trading that in for a new subsidized apartment, renting at $112 a month, has already gone a long way towards turning many of them into believers of feng shui. Deborah Goebel, CBC News, Vancouver.
And now to the latest chapter of a story we've been following.
Parade, the god of money, says it all.
That luck can be predicted. It says that a house at the bottom of a T intersection is bad luck.
and that wealth will flow out of a house that has a window facing the front door. Some call it science, others call it superstition. But what real estate agents know for sure is that it can make or break a sale.
One time I showed a customer a nice house in a good location, but about half a mile away, there were 3 trees, and she didn't like it.
As Miguel Turco can testify, feng shui is playing an important part in many local real estate decisions, and the services of feng shui masters like Joseph Ip are in high demand.
Until the other and down is together.
With a special compass and some complicated calculations, Ip says he can determine how lucky a house is. The verdict is good for the South Vancouver home facing the Fraser River as it narrows before dividing.
That means when more money suddenly come in and suddenly will be slowed down. Slow down is a good thing. That means the water will not run away on the fast speed. It will go in front of the house.
So money will stay.
Your money will stay, yes, that's right. There are 2 things they put on the wrong position.
But there are bad signs in the master bedroom.
You should not put the hat, to put the light in the middle of the bed.
It says anything hanging over the bed will cause illness. Feng means wind, and shui means water. It says feng shui is a science. It's a way to harness cosmic energies in the wind and water to bring health and wealth.
This one will be worse than that. Worse than that. Because why? No matter who lives over this area, it will easy to catch mistakes, such as the nose problem.
But skeptics say it's just common sense, and it's not unique to Chinese people.
Western buyers, they also look for good feng shui, but they just use a different term. They use location, because nobody wants to have a piece of property situated in a bad location.
You see, some of the people will say, if this needle is vibrating all the time, then it must be something wrong.
It may be common sense, but some people would rather pay it $1,000 or more to tell them that they're getting a good buy. Mei Wang, CBC News, Vancouver.
We'll be back with an update of Chinese mysticism. In some cases, that may be practically the only way to sell a multi-million-dollar house. Sure, the surround home movie system and the jacuzzi, even the 7 bedrooms or 6 bathrooms will attract the buyer, but it may be the location of the house or the number of doors and windows that will close the deal. The NewsHour's Caroline Yu explains why.
Well, it's nothing wrong with the Asian buyer, no matter you are the Asian buyer or the Western buyer, still you are looking for good energy. So the fountain, well, if it is on the right position, well, it can provide you the positive energy. It will be good for the house owner.
Joseph Ip is a feng shui expert. He deals with the ancient Chinese theory of geomancy, a belief that good health, prosperity, and happiness can be attained through proper balance of energy. And one of the most important places where feng shui is practiced is in the design and arrangement of the home.
Well, it is 100% science. Well, it is not superstition, but as a matter of fact, we are talking about the air current. It is simply like the Western design. They're talking about ventilations. Well, it's no different.
It's this exact energy, or the feng shui, as the Chinese call it, that can make or break some big real estate deals. And it's bringing Joseph Ip a whole new, not-so-traditional clientele. Glenn Toppings has been a Lower Mainland real estate agent for over 20 years.
Speaking for myself and the people I know, a lot of the more expensive houses, certainly you don't want a $1 or a $2 or a $3 million investment ruined because the feng shui is poor in the house. So a lot of those people for sure are using that, and more so.
And they all take feng shui seriously?
Yes, I think so. Even if they don't believe in it, they know that a lot of the buyers do.
Spread out to the wide open areas.
Whether the motivation is money or science, Ip sees the local acceptance of feng shui as something positive.
I think this is the best way to accept the new culture, no matter it's the Western style or the Eastern style. If that types of culture can provide you the benefits, why you run away?
A strike deadline is fast approaching.
In such a way they're making you sick or preventing a fortune from coming your way? We're going to talk about the ancient Chinese method of discovering energy flow. And as you saw, we're going to check out the energy flow here at VTV with an expert, in fact, a master on feng shui. Plus, David Jones weather tonight, live at 5. Go VTV. Tell us what he finds. That's next.
Fido introduced.
It's called feng shui. It's an ancient Chinese method of determining good and bad energies. Now, believers and practitioners point out this is mathematical, not spiritual. About 5,000 years ago, a wise Chinese man determined that everything has energy, or qi, and that if we're to be happy, healthy, and prosperous, we must ensure the energy around us is in harmony. Now, this will help you understand the concept. Those who believe in feng shui believe that everything, animals, plants, landscape, indoors and outdoors, they all have energy, or qi. Like magnetic direction, qi has flow. And the most important aspect of qi is that it can be manipulated. And if you understand it, you can have good fortune. Ignore it, we're warned, and you will not have good fortune. A lot of people in our communities seek the advice of a feng shui master to ensure that their work areas and their homes are configured to take advantage of the positive energy flows and minimize the effects of the negative energy flows. Well, today I had the pleasure of meeting Joseph Ip. He's been studying feng shui for about a quarter century now. Even as a respected master, he still seeks the advice of those more senior than him. He travels extensively throughout our province, providing his service as a consultant. Well, today he gave our home, the Vancouver Television Studios, a quick going over.
This is a kind of a Chinese organizer. You can consider this an organizer. But as a matter of fact, we use a compass.
We began outside, figuring out which door was the best to enter. Oblivious to the energy of breakfast TV, he worked on calculations. Then it was off to the third floor.
Well, you will find a lot of trouble because the direction you got the energy from the direction of the northeast. Right. The northeast is applying the worst energy, especially for these years.
So we should change this part of the building?
You can change it. You can change the position of the counter. Okay.
Move the counter this way?
Move the counter to the other way. Yeah.
You guys want to get right on that? We're trying to make your lives better.
When he right inside this corner, okay, right inside, you care about this pointer. The pointer and also can guide energy to shooting your position. So she is not supposed to working here. Well, otherwise she will feeling uncomfortable. She will have a bad pain. Yeah, she was always harmed by the worst energy. So if she wants to be more benefits for her job, she should facing that direction or the other direction.
On our way out of the Gab Rosette, another solution to the reception problem.
So use this as the main entry instead of that one.
Okay. I don't know if we're going to be able to change this overnight.
Yeah, it's an only suggestion.
Now, what if we continue to use the doors the way we've been using? People are just going to walk into bad energy.
Well, they will absorbing the bad energy. They will easy to get sick. They will easy to find DC unhappy when she is working in here. But this one is a little bit better because he has a swing the door to a certain degree to the other direction.
Okay.
But still facing the northeast. Okay. Is someone working on that corner? Mm-hmm. That corner is the arguing corner. Okay. Well, if someone working over there...
Over there?
Yeah.
Is the arguing corner?
That is arguing corner.
That's where our vice president works.
That's why he always asking.
Oh, you feel like that. Now, hey, can I be selfish for just one moment and ask you about this position? Is this...
Okay.
Is this any good?
Let me see.
It's my chair.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, when you're sitting over here, well, you'll be easy to travel. To travel outside and easy to have a girlfriend when you want to change it.
Really?
when you want to get more, well, it's easier to change. Well, at least you have 4 You have 4 chances for this year.
I have 4 chances?
Yeah, you have 4 chances.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
We'll have to edit that. We didn't edit it in time, obviously. Oh, well, so we'll move that desk of mine. And yes, of course, feng shui does cover romance as well. It covers a whole bunch of things. If you're interested in a consultation, rates are flexible, but on average, a homeowner can expect to pay $400 to the feng shui master. A business about $10,000, or rather $1,000. Now, a place like this, a big building like the one VTV is housed in, it would cost you about $10,000. Master Ip was kind enough to give us a very cursory examination for free today. Kind of give you a good indication of what feng shui is all about. Going to take a short break, come back in just a moment with an interesting law out of California that would be very interesting to people here concerned about animals.
Feng shui is the belief that the design of your home or business can have a great effect on your health and prosperity. Master Joseph Ip is in Saskatoon this week practicing feng shui. Jill McAllister has more.
For centuries, the Chinese have been using feng shui to determine the best location for their homes and offices. Master Joseph Ip practices feng shui in Canada. Outside, Master Ip analyzes the position of your home or business using a Chinese compass. Specific calculations are made to determine how to channel good and bad energy through your home. Going from room to room, Master Ip may suggest adding something like an aquarium or changing the position of an existing piece of furniture. The changes are intended to balance the energy in your home, bringing health, happiness, and good luck.
So when your body's energy was balanced, you will feeling happy, you will feeling energetic. Well, you don't lose your energy. You have a sufficient power to do anything. You will be more successful on your business, in your marriage life.
In this home, Master Ip recommended adding a vase of water with 8 white marbles by the kitchen sink. He suggested moving a clock to a north wall and adding an aquarium with 8 fish near the bedroom door.
Little changes that Dr. Ip did that anyone can do in their home. They weren't expensive. They were easy changes. And I get Dr. Ip to come into my home every year.
Ip says a yearly consultation is necessary because energies change with each Chinese New Year. This year, he says bad energy comes from the south, so it is best to use entrances which face other directions. If you'd like a feng shui consultation in your home, be prepared to spend about $600. If you'd like to learn it yourself, for $250 you can attend a seminar tomorrow morning at the Kelsey Institute. Jill McAllister, CTV News, Saskatoon.
One of the select few who hold the title Feng Shui Master, Joseph Ip has been practicing his art for over 30 years. As the founder of the Institute of Chinese Prophecy, he has taught students throughout China and Japan, and now brings his wisdom to the West. The 5,000-year-old art of placement, literally translated as wind and water, is now finding acceptance throughout society, crossing cultural and ethnic boundaries. As a guest speaker and columnist, his advice is sought out by individuals and business. Providing for a greater sense of health and prosperity through feng shui allows him a unique opportunity to affect the lives of the people he serves. Joseph Ip.
In the terms of the feng shui, we can direct translate it with wind and water. So why wind and water relates to our life? Because we are talking about, we are affecting 2 sources of energy. Because one is positive, one is negative. Maybe we can say it's heat energy or cold energy. Okay, because the heat energy is always ascending because its density is light. So when it's ascending, it's always affected by the wind. So that means we want to discover where the positive energy is located. Well, there is a direction can guide me. The winds, where the wind blow, that means where the positive energy will be located over there. And the other is the negative energy. That means it's the cold energy. The cold energy, because the density is heavy, so that's why it's always descending. When the cold energy is descending, and it was absorbed by our soil. When they absorb it to a certain level, they will become a running river. It runs on the surface of our land. So that means there was a tips to tell me if we want to discover where is the negative energy. So there was a way we follow the water run. I'm not a rich guy. Sometimes even I'm facing a very rich guy. Well, if he want to use my consultation, he want to my opinion, he sit in front of me. That means every word, every suggestion from me, it costs a lot of money. So that means my treasure is more rich than the rich guy. Well, the treasure, it doesn't mean the money is representing all the treasure. My wisdom is my treasure too. So if my wisdom can overcome to help you to solve the problem, I think my wisdom is more, my intelligence is more valuable than your money. I was born in a high education family. I'm always keep on touch with the high education person. Everybody speaking in a very polite way. I have never have a chance to hear something, speak some foul words to me. Some, what was that, is a rough words to me. So if all in a sudden there was a young boy coming to my side and he's speaking a very impolite way to me with the smile, I will not be angry because I never heard, I do not know what does he say. I just imagine he is smiling to me, he is saying hi to me, he is doing something good to me. So if you are feeling angry, first thing you have to know, try to give up your knowledge to do that judgment. Try to clip up. Try to stand on the opposite side to think which is right and which is wrong. And never use your own way to do the judgment. If you always use your own way to do the judgment, there will be a battle. To become a feng shui master, well, there is only one way you can be success. You must follow a successful feng shui master to direct, give you what is the shortcut to become the feng shui master. You cannot go to the bookshop to buy a bundle, even you buy the bundle of gold, you read it over, but there is something secret is hidden. You never know. So I want to share my knowledge. I find what I've done is quite useful, can help the human being. So because many people, they don't have a chance to keep approach with that knowledge. So I try to use many ways to present it to the Caucasian society. Although my English is not good enough to let them understanding, but I have already to use every way to help them. I'm still learning. So that's why I say I'm not satisfied my own. Yeah, I know many people know my name, and already I have taught many students. Many students is already to become very popular in Hong Kong, in Japan, or over here. Well, they are already popular. But still, I think I'm still learning, because you know everything is changing. In fact, you can imagine in 5,000 years ago, the feng shui on that situation, they don't have electricity, they don't have pollution, so the temperature is getting everything in normal. So if we use that method and follow his method is correct, But now it's something changed in Vancouver because they have a slow motion. So I'm feeling I don't have many pressure. And this is exactly the way what I'm looking for. I'm looking a peaceful way because I'm feeling money doesn't mean anything. What I need is a good health. What I need is a happy family, and we can look after each other. We don't like to facing many challenges. Well, because I am old enough to facing the challenge, you know. So I'm feeling good, but you know, if you find yourself still a very energetic person, you are still like a hunter. You have ever hunt enough food in the past of your life, so you better not stay in Vancouver. Many religions, they have a battle because they always consider I'm already top of the line. Forget about the other. I'm the only true. You are not the true. Of course, in the religion ways, you can say in this way, but you can check from the history telling you this is not the perfect way. This is the one way, but that is not the perfect way. To become harmony, you better use some space. You better leave some space to let other people to have his own opinion. Especially in Vancouver, we are a multi-culture. It's a multi-culture. If you always use your culture to judge another culture is bad or wrong, they will conflict each other. They cannot absorb another culture. My master always asks me to be more humble, so I'm seldom to be feeling proud. But as a matter of fact, well, when I find I have done something, it is quite satisfying to me. I'm really feeling proud because I'm choosing the right way, can help the people. You know, especially if you find someone who is in a very serious sick, if he has spent a long term to consult with the doctor, but the doctor can help him nothing. But when soon after he used my consultation, he can suddenly become a health person. Well, it's more than the money. So I think I don't mean I'm more powerful than the doctors, but I do mean, well, I help the people in a really way. So it is more valuable than the money. The money on that case, it means nothing. So I'm always feeling proud. So I always encourage the people, no matter you are the Chinese, you are the Caucasian, try every way to learn. This is the really method can help the people. Maybe someone say, hey, Joseph, I really don't understand you, why you are always in the low profile, while your name is already so popular. Why you don't use your names to earn the money? Because in my situation, I think the money is not the most important thing. Of course, nobody can escape away from money. Well, money can help you to do anything, but I think this is not the best. It's not the best. I think the wisdom, the intelligence is the best. If we are more focusing on the future, well, if you can do some prediction to understanding on the future, well, you will understanding nobody can carry the money away when you die. Yeah. So what you can do, well, during in your life, do something good to your neighbor, do something good to your friend, do something good to your family, and help them to be more harmony. I think this is my purpose.
Transportation provided by Air.
Hier hat alles angefangen. Zumindest die Menschheit. Ein Rabe war's. Der entdeckte Zweibeiner ohne Flügel in einer Meeresmuschel und lockte sie an Land. Geschaffen waren die Menschen, die Haida-Indianer. Ihr Eiland hießen sie Haida Gwaii, die Insel des Volkes. Im Osten Kanadas rümpfen sie die Nase. Eine Freizeitgesellschaft, die im Westen. Nichts als Segeln im Kopf. Was sollen sie machen? Umgeben von Wasser und Bergen, umschmeichelt vom schönsten Licht der Welt, ist zum Segeln verurteilt, wer in Vancouver lebt.
The positive energy is running from my right side.
Die positive Energie geht hier von rechts nach links.
So pay attention. You have to pay attention about the
Und jetzt müssen Sie auf die Strömung des Wassers in den Buchten achten. Hier fließt alle Energie zusammen, für alle Bewohner der
so
City.
it can benefit the city on the both sides of the coast. So that's why
Deshalb ist die Energie in Vancouver einfach ideal.
is so great.
Besorgen Sie sich eine Karte und finden Sie heraus, wie die Energie in Ihrer Stadt fließt.
Okay?
Der Schein trügt also nicht. Vancouver ist eine gesegnete Stadt. Feng Shui, die chinesische Lehre von den Energieströmen, hat es bestätigt. Berge und Wasser, negative und positive Energie im harmonischen Gleichgewicht. Der Hund muss von Ost nach West. Das zeigt der Kompass ganz klar. Dr. Joseph Yip aus Hongkong ist Feng Shui-Meister. Feng heißt Wind und Shui Wasser. Nach der chinesischen Lehre steht jedes Haus unter dem Einfluss positiver und negativer Energieströme. Dr. Yip lehrt, wie kleine Veränderungen helfen, sie ins Lot zu bringen. Er berät eine Bank. Die Managerin sitzt nicht richtig und wenn die Chefin sich nicht wohlfühlt, schadet das der ganzen Belegschaft. Die Uhr da hinten, ganz schlecht. Sie hält ihr nicht den Rücken frei. Weg vom Fenster und auf der Konsole kann sie viel weniger Schaden anrichten. Ein Problem bleibt noch zu lösen. Die Ladentische in der Schalterhalle sehen aus wie Särge. Kein chinesischer Kunde würde hier einen Bankauftrag ausfüllen. Ansonsten ist es gut bestellt um die Energie rund ums Geldinstitut.
Vancouver, c'est une ville porte-bonheur.
Le feng shui, c'est l'étude de l'énergie naturelle, du vent et de l'eau. Bien placé, Vancouver influence donc positivement la santé, le moral et les finances des Chinois qui viennent s'y installer, dit le grand maître Joseph Yip.
Voilà l'accès au Pacifique. L'énergie passe par ici. Stanley Park, c'est comme un bras qui retient toute l'énergie. Il y en a beaucoup. C'est pourquoi elle peut s'étendre et profiter à toute cette région.
Pour se loger, construire une maison, se lancer en affaires, le feng shui est déterminant. C'est un grand maître du feng shui qui a choisi la date et l'heure d'ouverture de la succursale de la Banque de Hong Kong qui est devenue rentable après 48 heures seulement. Mais si tout va bien pour l'instant pour les Sino-Canadiens de Vancouver, Cela ne va pas durer éternellement, nous disent les spécialistes du feng shui.
Il va falloir changer de position. Là, vous faites face au sud. Peut-être qu'en 2003 ou 2004, il faudra passer au nord-est.
C'est qu'ils prédisent de grands changements pour l'an 2004, des changements qui risquent de bouleverser l'économie de toute la région, ce qui pourrait faire partir des milliers de Sino-Canadiens.
L'énergie change chaque année, petit à petit. Mais le grand changement aura lieu en 2004.
L'acheteur non averti évaluera cette maison selon son design, son prix, son emplacement.
Yeah, right.
Mais pour Madame Lee, il y a bien d'autres critères à considérer.
What is the orientation of this house?
Elle demande quelle est l'orientation de la maison parce que ce qui l'intéresse avant tout, c'est de savoir si la maison a un bon feng shui. Et pour ça, elle s'en remet au maître de feng shui qui visite avec elle.
You see the compass?
En consultant son compas de géomancie, il lui indiquera le bon et le mauvais feng shui partout dans cette maison. Par exemple, la porte d'entrée qui est en ligne droite avec la porte arrière, c'est très mauvais. Ça veut dire que l'énergie, la richesse, ne reste pas dans cette maison. La plupart du temps, le mauvais feng shui peut être corrigé. Ici, le maître suggère de placer un rideau qui coupera la trajectoire et gardera l'énergie en dedans. Pour Madame Lee, cette inspection est essentielle. Son mari est en affaires et il est superstitieux.
He's very superstitious about such things.
Ce n'est pas tous les Chinois qui croient au feng shui et les opposants disent que ce n'est qu'un tas de superstitions qui jouent sur la peur et qui deviennent un carcan pour ceux qui l'adoptent. Une chose est certaine cependant, les contracteurs et les agents d'immeubles ne peuvent plus se permettre d'ignorer le feng shui s'ils veulent vendre leur maison dans le marché de Vancouver. Cette maison, par exemple, on a placé la porte sur le côté plutôt que dans le centre pour que la famille ne soit jamais divisée. Et cette adresse a été choisie exprès parce que le 8 est un chiffre chanceux. Cet agent d'immeuble a déjà perdu une vente parce que la maison n'avait pas un bon feng shui.
We now sort of get involved with the builders and make sure that they are going to build a house which is going to be appealing to an Asian buyer.
Because this room is suitable.
Pour cette maison de près d'1 million, la prédiction, c'est qu'elle finira par se vendre à quelqu'un qui ne croit pas au feng shui. Justine Bouffard, à Vancouver.
For the first time. Hi there and welcome to today's show. I have one guest for the entire half hour and I'm looking very much forward to talking to him. A few weeks ago I was introduced for the first time to something called feng shui. And at the time I wasn't exactly sure what it was, but I knew it had something to do with having your homes and buildings laid out properly so that you can get the best possible, shall we say, vibes from them. And that was really all I knew about it. And today I'm very fortunate to have with me Dr. Joseph Ip, who is a feng shui master. He was born in Hong Kong, now lives in Vancouver, and has been used as a consultant on many major projects in the Vancouver area. Thanks for joining me today, Dr. Ip. You have done a number of projects. I understand you've consulted on some city halls in the area.
Yeah, the city hall, and also I'm consulted by the Hong Kong Bank. Yeah, Hong Kong Bank, CBCTV Bank, and a bank of Royal Bank as well.
I guess they want to make sure that they have things in order to do a good banking business.
Oh, yes. Excuse me. Especially, you know, in the coming few years, well, they are most targeting to the Chinese people. They try every way to attract the Chinese people to put the money and get the money and use that money on the proper special way. So that's why everybody, I think, is not especially the Caucasian. Every businessman, they're looking at some way to how to improve his business. So when they find suddenly it is work, so nobody willing to give the chance. Yeah.
But over in Hong Kong, how many years have people relied on this to give them a little bit an advantage in their home life, in their business?
Well, I think it's starting from the very first beginning in Hong Kong, because you know the feng shui has over 5,000 years, and most of the
the large population in Hong Kong, they are the Chinese people. And most of the Chinese people, they all understanding what is feng shui and how the feng shui run and how the feng shui can help yourself. So I think it will from over 100 years in Hong Kong, but especially the last 30 years, it will coming more and more accepted by the public.
Now, when I was talking about this before, I had it described to me as a building having good qi, good energy,
Yes.
so that people in their work can be the most productive possible and the business can be more successful, or at home that they have a place of peace, a place that is a warm and happy home.
Yes.
When you talk to most North American people about this, are they skeptical initially, or are they becoming more open?
Well, I think they will become more open. On the past time, because they don't have a chance to get approached to understanding what the feng shui are. So maybe some of the person may consider this is a superstition. When suddenly he find out, well, this is scientific, because there was some feng shui master to use the scientific method to present it and let them to get more understanding. Well, they have very opened the mind to absorb all those things and try to use this thing. Well, I think it is more acceptable for the Caucasian.
Now, you consider this to be a science, I understand. Yes. It's not some kind of thing that you just get advised about. This is an exact science?
I think it's exact Chinese science.
Okay.
Well, you know, the Chinese, the learning method, the using method will be a little bit different with another culture, you know. So we are talking about the moon, the energy from the moon. We are talking about the energy from the sun. Wow, the sun apply the positive energy, the moon apply the negative energy. So we are talking about how to use that energy and how to let them energy to become neutralized and become harmonized to benefit the people. Do you think it is scientific?
It's not a science in the sense that we think of science as perhaps in North America, but of course the Eastern culture has a different way of viewing a number of things, even things about the human body.
That's right.
So this is kind of, in a sense, is viewing buildings in the way that Eastern medicines view the body.
That's right. With
qi and energy and positive and negative forces.
That's right.
Now, you mentioned that you have worked as a consultant for a number of banks. What do you look for in a building to have it to be successful commercially?
You meaning about how to use the method?
Like if you walk into a place of business, a store, let's say that sells retail store, what are the first things you begin to notice that indicate to you that things are either properly set up in that building or not properly set up?
Oh, okay. The first thing we more concerned about is about the position of the main door. You know, well, you know the house. Let's consider the house is like the home and body. Well, every room is representing every organ. So we use the door to breathe in the energy. So the human body will use the mouth and nose to breathe in the energy and let it guide it to inside to every organ to share to use those energy. So the building is also the same theory. We use the main door to guide the energy. Well, if the main door is located on the correct position, they can guide the good energy. Of course, well, everybody will be share those at good energy. Everybody will get a benefit. But if your main door is on the wrong position, well, for suppose it's not convenient for the client to park the car, and it's nothing can draw the attention to understanding there is a building, there is some business over there, so you lose your own chance. So the first thing I'm more concerned is about the situation of the door.
So how much of it then is practical? You mentioned if your customers can't see the door, if they can't park there, it's not good. Those are common sense things too that a developer would know. We don't want to put the door there because people can't see it. But how much of it are other things that we don't understand in terms of the shape of the door, the way the entrance looks?
Yes. So, Well, you know, every knowledge is come from the common sense. Okay. Well, maybe you have such common sense, but you never concern, you never know. Well, I'm an expert to tell you, alert you, remind you. This is very practical. You can be used, such as the color. Well, the color, they have a harm color, they have a cold color. They can affect your mood. So if you use the wrong color, well, maybe you have the best result. Maybe if you use the right color, the result would be much better.
Much better.
Okay. So, and also in another way, you're talking about the people they don't understanding. For example, we are all affected by two sources of energy. One is from underground. We can call it radiation from the ground, because nobody know what is buried under the ground. Maybe there was running water under the ground. There was energy is moving under the ground. They have a radiation because the temperature change. That ground energy can affect us. Okay, you can use some equipment to find out how the energy is located and where they are located, how they run. But the energy, maybe you didn't know, is such as the planet. The planet moving on the sky, well, they apply the magnetic force. They apply the certain affects our, something happen. The climates happen. Well, all those things can affect our human being. How you can suffer is bad or good. So that's why we also all combine those two methods to discover the atmosphere energy and the ground energy, and try to understanding where they should locate, and try to, once when we find that location is the good spot to locate the good energy, we put our seeds over there to absorb all those energy, to create our energy. So let me be more energetic to face every problem. So when the problem comes, we can easy to solve if I'm energy enough. But if I'm reducing, if I'm sitting on the wrong place, we are reducing our energy. So once when you, even you try every way to be diligent, to be work hard, but still no use. Because nobody's pay attention, you were there, you are working so diligent.
Some people complain about that in business. Maybe they should have their building looked at from a feng shui perspective.
Yes, I suggest it.
Okay, we're going to take a break and we'll come back and talk more with Dr. Joseph Ip in just a moment. Stay tuned. My guest today is Dr. Joseph Ip, who's a feng shui master. He's visiting here in Saskatoon from Vancouver, where he lives and works. Dr. Ip, at the break I was asking you about colors, because you said, you know, a certain building should be certain colors, and color is a factor with the energy.
Yes.
And then I said, well, what colors are bad? And you told me that it's not like a bad color, it depends on who's working there. So when you consult with, for example, the Bank of Hong Kong or the Royal Bank, do you have to meet all the staff in order to determine what the proper environment is for them?
Yes, yes, I should take off all those, all the staff information. I do the calculation, detailed calculation, to understanding what source of energy is exactly what he needs. So once when I discover he needs water energy or something like that, we will put it in the north location, because the north location can apply the water energy. So when they stay there, they can use the water energy to create his own energy.
What about when a bank, for example, is being built and they don't know necessarily who all their staff people would be, and even with their managers, banks move managers around frequently. Are there some general rules that are just good for the building regardless of who works there?
Yeah, the most important thing is who is the highest guy in that band.
Okay.
Well, if he's considered like a commander, well, they guide all the troops to be ready to be fight. Okay, so the commander must situate on the correct position. So if the bankers tell me, well, I do not know who will sit over here, and every staff is the new staff, I do not know his age or something like that. Well, okay, it's no care. I don't care. I only care about you, commander. You gave me your detailed information. I do the calculation. I select the correct position and let you sit over there more comfortable, more enjoyable. And so in that case, every decision made by you will be absolutely correct.
Now, turning and looking at people's personal homes, sometimes you walk into a person's home, I'm like this anyway, and I just, it'll be a nice home, but I know I could never be comfortable living there. It might be decorated beautifully, it might be a wonderful home,
Yes.
but there's something about it, and I don't know what it is. I get what I call the bad vibes.
Yes.
What is that? Does that have anything to do with feng shui?
Yes, that's right. Well, you know, many people have such experience. When you step in some stranger place, you have a wonderful, uncomfortable feeling. Because know why? Because inside your body, every person, they have his own proportion of element. The element is different. So everyone, they have a heat, they have a radiation out. Once when you step in, well, your radiation and the house material radiation repel each other. You are feeling uncomfortable. But if you are created each other, well, when you step in, even an old house, an old tea house 100 years ago, you're still feeling warm. Because that material energy is created your energy. That is why. That is, in other case, you have you may have experience facing to the stranger you have never known before, but suddenly you occasionally meet each other. Well, you even don't have a talk. Well, you have an uncomfortable feeling. You don't like to talk with him.
Right.
Because his energy repels with your energy.
Yeah, I call that bad chemistry. I've met a few people like that. Yeah, everyone has that feeling, and it's the same way with the building, but when I feel that sometimes when I walk into a building, I think to myself, oh, well, you know, like I don't know, like, for myself, I tend to trust my feelings, but when you try to tell other people why you don't like that building, you don't like that house or whatever, and it looks good to them, it's hard to explain, well, it's a feeling I have. But should you go by your instincts like that? Is it good to rely on them for the people who feel that sort of thing?
No, you cannot say that. Sometimes you can rely it on, but sometimes you cannot rely it on, because you all use your feeling. Well, you all depends on your feeling, because sometimes when your body is in the bad condition, bad health condition, well, your feeling will be weak. So on that time, your judgment will be absolutely wrong. Also, in another case, if you are very strong, well, you can trust your feeling, but you never know, well, what situation you are at the moment. Okay. In another case, if you step in some house, it's not suitable to you, it may not suitable for me. Maybe for you, you will get a bad luck. But I step in, I will get a good luck. Because why? Because our inside body's elements contain is absolutely different. So that's why it's like simply like a food. Well, somebody need drink the water all the time, but somebody they don't. They smoke all the time. But both of them, they are healthy. They are not ill. They don't get illness because they find what energy they need to be balanced.
What do you do, though, in a case where there's usually more than one person living in a home? There's a married couple, sometimes children. How do you give them advice to make the house right when more than one person has to live there?
Okay, it is a very good question. Well, when we select the house, we should use the husband's his natal number to select the house. But most of the women, they stay in the kitchen all the time. So that's why when we choose which location should be used as the kitchen, we use the women's natal number to choose the correct position.
So do you talk to the people a little bit too? Let's say you get a family where the man is in the kitchen all the time. It's kind of the reverse situation. Do you need to know those things about a person's lifestyle in order to know what rooms need to be most suitable to them?
I don't need to know his personal living style. What I need is only the birthday.
Okay.
We get all understanding from his birthday.
Now, for people who have trouble sleeping at night and they don't really have a reason, I mean, everyone has trouble once in a while and they kind of think they know why, but some people just have a history of having difficulty sleeping. Could it be because their bedroom is not in sync with them?
Yes. And also, the most important thing, I think, is the orientation of his sleeping bag. So in that case, I suggest he better change his sleeping bag from this position to another position, trying to absorb another magnetic force, because both of us are affected by some magnetic force.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard people say that if you have trouble sleeping, turn the opposite way in the bed and you'll sleep better. Maybe the whole bed should just be turned the opposite way.
Yes, maybe. Maybe it is necessary. If you can find this as benefit for you, why you not to do that?
Okay, we're going to take another break and come back and talk more with Dr. Ip. Don't go away. We're talking today about the science of Feng Shui, and we're talking with a master of Feng Shui, Dr. Joseph Ip, who's here today from Vancouver to talk to us about it. Dr. Ip, are there any rules that people should be aware of if they're building a house or if they're doing some renovations in their home? Just some general things that would apply to all people to keep in mind to have their house at least have the beginnings of proper energy.
Yes, okay. Well, the most important thing I find many Caucasian, well, they have a same situation, is don't let the staircase to direct facing to the main door. You know, we consider the house is supposed to apply the negative energy because the house is keep stable on the same position all the time. They don't have a movement. But the outside the traffic, they have a very quick movement. We consider they apply the positive energy. So every time when you open the door, the inside energy and outside energy will try to be balanced. You will find energy will be suction in or suction out. It depends on which pressure is higher, okay? So at the staircase is used to, for the men to guide all the energy to the second level. So if your staircase is direct facing to the main door, it will cause you have a financial problem. Your money will be easy to be losing. You never know the reason why. Yeah.
So it should be set to the side a bit?
A side of it, not direct facing. Even you have no much space, try to turn the other way. Don't let the step direct guide all the energy out from the main door.
Okay, so that's in the foyer. Anything else for different areas of the house?
And also the foyer should be a little bit bigger by proportionally to let the energy can have enough space to stay over there, and then to let every family member can share the energy. And the third point is more concerned about the kitchen, because the kitchen, they have heat. Once the heat was happened, it will guide air current to change its location. Because the heat is always ascending, the other areas, the cold energy will come in to that spot to refill that area. So it will cause the air currents running in certain circle. So the position of the stove or the position of the fireplace is also very important too.
Now, what if people have built homes and they, have the kitchen laid out improperly, and they have the stairs going straight up from the door, and a few other things, short of really doing major renovations inside their house, are there any things they can do to change that? Can they put any furniture in the way? Can they put any obstructions?
Yes. Sometimes we can relocate all the furniture to guide the energy, turn the other way to go. But sometimes it depends on how serious and how many big problem he has done already. Well, the responsibility of the Feng Shui master is simply like the doctor of the house. So nobody can guarantee that the clients will not die. If he is in a serious condition, even I try my utmost best, he cannot solve the problem. So in that case, I will suggest him, you better move, okay? And also the next thing, such as your animal site. Your animal site never used as a toilet or something like that. But to understanding that will be a little bit complicated for the first beginner. But I will explain in my class.
Now, you said a person should, maybe if they just can't get the house right, should think about moving. Now, could someone else move into that house and be okay with things that are, as you suggested? Does it depend on the person?
No. Now, the relocate of the furniture will be depending on different person. But you have make a major problem, such as the staircase is direct facing to the main door. This is a major problem. No matter who stay in that house, they will get a problem. But the degrees of a problem would be a little bit different.
I see. So then it does depend a little bit.
Depends whether you are strong enough to afford it, or you have a lot of money, can be lose it, you're still rich.
Yeah, because a lot of big homes do have the stairs going.
Yeah, this is so different.
Okay. Yeah. And in terms of a person's health.
Yes.
Can it affect their physical health?
Oh, yes, it's true. Well, you know, this is more important to locate it where which place should be used as the sleeping place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just mentioned, we never know what types of minerals is underburied the ground, what types of radiation will be radiated from the ground. So once when we put the beds over there, if that radiation can increase our energy, we will get a benefit. Because when you're sleeping, you are compulsory to absorb all those energy, no matter it's good or bad. If the energy is benefit for you, you are energetic when you wake up. Otherwise, you like to sleep in a cage. Every time when you wake up, you do not know the direction where you are, because you are reducing your money. No, reducing your energy.
Your energy.
It's more important than the money.
Right, your health is always more important than money.
That's right.
Well, you do consultations when you're here,
yes,
Dr. Ip, and you're going to be back, Beverly. I can hear her over here telling me that you're going to be back again in September.
Yes.
As well. And who do people contact if they'd like to have you do a consultation?
Yeah, I have a very good friend. It's called Betty Force. Well, they can contact Betty Force. They can also contact Beverly.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get a number. So if you want to get your pens ready, we'll give it back. We'll give it to you as soon as we come back from our break. Dr. Ip, we've run out of time. We have hardly scratched the surface. It's certainly an interesting area, and I've enjoyed talking to you about it today.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after this. Get your pens.
咁我哋下次時間咧就再見啦。